Fiber Trek. My name is Sarah. This is episode 34. It's May, the first week. I am choosing to podcast from the floor because I'm sitting here with my dogs. I've got Fern right here close to me, and she hasn't been feeling very well, so I've just been wanting to have extra quality time with this girl. So you get the letter couch. I'm at my parents'. I've been traveling significantly, which is why you haven't heard from me. And I am wrapping up classes, finals, clinic, lots of writing, lots of driving, lots of not in my space. And therefore, I've been doing a little bit of knitting, but I've just not been attuned to that piece of my life. I have a lot of irons on the fire that need to be firmed up, and once I get my last exam written, I will be shifting my attention to managing some of those, including getting back on my podcasting schedule, contacting people who've contacted me, actually knitting. So with any luck, the end is in sight. Couple quick notes. I have no show notes and a pile of stuff that I'm just going to try to work myself through and hopefully expedite that in an efficient fashion so I can work on my exams and start working towards that ultimate goal of homework freedom. I don't know. So, I mean, there's always work, but this is particularly draining on the intellectual capital. So, I am headed to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool on Saturday, and I will be at the Podcaster Meetup being organized by Claire of New Hampshire Knits, who I'm looking forward to meeting, as well as a number of you have posted, I believe, in her board that you'll be there, so I hope that you'll take some time and search me out. I left all of my buttons at home in the north, so that's very convenient and very helpful. But all the same, I would love to meet any of you that are attending the show. I will be with Sarah of Upton Yarns. And so if you see us, I don't know what I'll be wearing. I left my Fiber Trek t-shirt at home as well. I also left all of my lighter weight clothes, summery clothes. And so I've been wearing corduroys and tights and long sleeve tees to do almost everything because that's all I packed. And it's been like 78 degrees here. I know. I may stop and pick up some lighter weight trousers or something so when I'm hiking around I don't look like a hot mess. But that being said, we will be there and running around. We'll probably be at the show sometime around 10:30. So hopefully I will get to meet some of you. I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers, and I would like to thank everybody who's reached out, sent me notes, commented, and if I haven't had an opportunity to respond to what you said, it is coming. I am able to keep track where I'm at in the threads, etc., and I do try to comment on every comment that's made, and I will get there. But that being said, thank you so much for reaching out. I very much appreciate it, and when I'm traveling, when I'm away from home, when I'm away from my dogs, my knitting, things aren't going as I had hoped, it's really awesome to see a comment or get a little inspiration from what people are doing in the bigger world. It just broadens me out a little bit, gives me some perspective. I think I thanked you all. I welcomed people. So those are always my two housekeeping pieces. And I think that's it. Let's go into WIPs, and I'm going to start with what I have been working on while traveling, which has been easy, which is very exciting. So much to tell you about this project. This is the Half Hansel by Gudrun Johnston, and this is part of the Hap-along that I'm participating in with Knit British, Louise, from Shetland. And I have spun the yarn for this project. This is Hog Island. I don't know if that's picking up. It's a chocolate brown, of course. I spun this with a worsted type draw on my Lendrum, and it was a prepared roving, and then I plied it. When I finished plying it, it was very tight, very wiry. It was balanced, but it was high twist. So I ran it back through my Lendrum on a different setting, and it came out perfectly. Now I'm gonna have to spin more of this. I got 266 yards of a fingering weight. This is 3 ounces. And now I'm like, ooh, I don't know how I'm gonna match exactly what I did. So I'm a little bit concerned, but, oh, I'm sorry, Fern. Fern is right here. I'm gonna say hello. She's no Alice. Sorry. You guys see her? Her sweet face. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you can just see her ear. So anyway, I'm sorry about the jerky camera tripod. So as I was saying, perhaps I'll be able to get the whole center section of the shawl done in this yarn, and then the other areas, I think it's a knitted on border, in the other prepared and spun Hog Island fleece. So 3 ounces, 2 ply fingering, and I'm really psyched. Gudrun Johnson has done something that no other designer has been able to do, which is to loosen up my gauge. Because of the way that this is constructed and cast on, I'm really not able to keep my death grip on my yarn, so I've really had to loosen it up, which is great because the fabric has really benefited from that. And this is just a simple garter stitch. I have so much more to do on this project, and I'm going to let 2 kind of topics bleed in together here, which is spinning and knitting. So I have contacted a breeder, or I don't think she's a breeder. I think she's affiliated with this farm that does Santa Cruz sheep, and she's somebody I need to get back in touch with because I have procured Santa Cruz fleece. It will be in the raw. It will be small. I believe I am going to buy the full fleece, I think, because I think, like she had mentioned in her email to me, that they are particularly small. She has 2 types. They have a couple fleeces that they have left on the sheep for 2 years to get a longer staple. And then they have lamb fleece that's the first time they've been sheared, and it's 1 year of growth. So I'm going to talk to her a little bit more about the qualities of those and what that means and how I might address the prep of that. And she's on Etsy. It's Blue Oak Canyon, and she's in California, and she's been lovely to communicate with, and she's very enthusiastic, and we're talking about doing an audio interview on the podcast about this particular breed, because I feel like it's important work, and she has a lot to share about what does conservation actually mean. So anyway, that's in the works. Nothing else is spun for this. I have Gulf Coast Native to spin, Navajo Churro, and American Jacob. So at the end of this shawl, it will include 3 of the critical breed sheep breeds in the United States and 2 of the threatened. And if you'd like to learn more about those breeds as well as other breeds, including chickens and horses and cows and pigs, you can look at the Livestock Conservancy site for the United States. It's different in Britain, the way they qualify and classify. So you can look at both of those sites and you can get a feel for what does that actually mean to be conservation or heritage, etc. So I really like how this is coming out, and it's very easy knitting, and I'll probably be bringing this to the show just to finish up this center panel. But I'll need to return home to Millinocket area to start spinning for the next round. I was really bummed when I got that off and on the Nitty Nutty, and I only had 266 yards, and I was like, oh. So it was such a feat for me to spin 3 ounces. I know some people, they can do that quite quickly, but the way I divide my time, for some reason, spinning it takes me a while to spin that amount of weight. I know. I don't know why. It's like Bermuda Triangle of spinning at my house. The other thing I've been working on is the Baby Cables and Big Ones Too by Suvi Simola. This has kind of come to a standstill, not because I don't enjoy the pattern or anything in particular, but just because I haven't been able to travel with it. It's required some thought, not a lot, but I finished the body. Let's see if I can do this. Sorry, Fern. I finished the body. You can see the shaping that happened there. I really didn't modify anything. I just added one more set of increases down towards the hips. It fits beautifully. I'm in love with it. And because I was able to try it on, which is one of the beauties of Top Down. And now I'm working on the sleeve, and it has a cable section on the sleeve, which does require a little bit of keeping an eye on a chart. It's not intensely chart heavy, but I need to have that piece with me, and I just haven't been able to travel very effectively with all of that and get it out and think about it. And this I can just haul out in class. I mean, the HAP I can just haul out in class and just do it. The other thing about this is that I've made a set of increases on the sleeve, and now I've just decided to leave it instead of continuing to decrease down towards my wrist. So that will be a modification I made, and I have to remember to do that on the other side. So I would love to have this finished and put more time and thought into it once I am finished with my semester work. So that's kind of hanging out. I was a little concerned with the bottom and my cast off that I did. I did a lace cast off just to give it a little bit of stretch, so when I have it over trousers or something, it's not like, cutting in, and it has a shape that is consistent. But I thought it was going to really throw off and look stretched out and not have any structure. But when I put this on, it comes together, and I think once I block it, it will have a little bit more uniformity. This is the Fula wool from Shetland in the Mioge, I'm not sure if I say that correctly, but, or the Miyagit, that sounds like Karate Kid. Yeah, and it's a DK weight, and I'm loving it. I can't wait to buy more Fula wool. So that's that. The other thing I worked on was for a project that Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade is doing, which is Meet Your Yarn, or I think it's Meet My Yarn. And she just asked people to knit a swatch of their favorite yarn, or a yarn that carries some story to it or is important to them, and kind of like a soulful yarn. And so I knit up a swatch of Serenity Farms Corriedale. This was sent to me by Granny Sheep to swatch for a purchase. And of course it's gray. I'm thinking of doing a nice sweater out of this, perhaps the Miranda, and I was also looking at the Freya, which you can reference online on Ravelry. So I knit those up, and she sent me swatches a while ago, and I thought it was really interesting. She has off the cone available that comes right from the spinning mill, and she has skeined and washed, and I just was hoping I could capture the difference of those two preparations for you. So this was knit with the skeined and washed, came skeined, and she had washed it. And then this is an example of what it looks like coming off the cone. And I'm not sure, I'm hoping it will capture how different that is. This is really ropey, and this has got a lot more loft to it. It's bloomed up quite a bit. And I just thought it was really interesting to feel that difference and actually see the difference in the textures and what that might mean to you when you're buying off the cone, etc. I know that Harrisville Designs sells a Shetland style wool on the cone, which is what I knit my husband's cobblestone sweater in by Jared Flood. And I didn't enjoy the texture of it while I was knitting, and I was like, gosh, this is really, felt not like cotton because I had more stretch, but it has like this textured feel to it. And then when I washed it, it bloomed right up, and it completely transformed the garment. And I just kind of wanted to bring that to the attention of us, just something different and some little discovery. So anyway, I knit that swatch up and I submitted it to Helen. I am planning to order from Serenity Farm around 1,200, 1,400 yards of the Corriedale off the cone, and I will skein and wash myself. So I can just buy it on the cones and then take care of it. She also sent me a sample of spinning. So I'll spin that up. I also have a selection of wash locks that I prepared from her, and some 1 ounce samples of other colors of her sheep. And I'm going to put that all together and see what I can come up with for a fun project. So that was exciting to receive right around my birthday. I also, I guess that's it for works in progress, and knitting and spinning. But acquisitions and discoveries. I don't think I talked about this, but for my birthday this year, I ordered finally hard copies of Kate Davies' books, Yolks and Colors of Shetland. I own this digitally, and I wanted to look at it in its composite form and be able to pick it up and share it with other people, as far as, promoting her as a designer. A friend who I shared this book with, to give her an idea about Kate Davies and what she designs and how she writes, and so it was great to, share the whole hard copy. That was a bit of a ramble. I also was excited to get yolks because I have plans to knit Frost at Midnight, and I've been talking a little bit with Shiny Bees, Joe, just in passing back and forth a few messages here and there, because she's interested in knitting Frost at Midnight. And there's quite a bit. This is all beadwork here, and this is lace weight wool silk blend. I think I've talked a little bit about that. It's kind of an epic journey. So anyway, I was excited to get that, and then there's probably 3 other sweaters that I plan to knit in here, and I've been kind of keying out what yarns I'd like to use for them. This is another pattern I'm looking at knitting, and I'm thinking of using Green Mountain Spinnery Mountain Mohair or 13 Mile Farm, their worsted weight yarns. And so I've had a lot of fun kind of dreaming a little bit about, well, what yarn would I use for this? What yarn would I use for that? I've knitted quite a bit of my stash. I've stashed down quite a bit of my sweater quantities. And so I feel like a sweater's worth purchase wouldn't be too much to invest in or find space for. I think for me, that is going to be all. I don't have a textiles in time. I really just wanted to check in and just give you some insight into where I'm at and where I've been. And I will be back hopefully next week. So I'll be returning home on Sunday, and then classes will be over. So it'll be great. I am working on a an audio recording for the Knit British TV show. I don't know what I'm thinking. I am working on a recording for the Knit British podcast about the sheep breeds I have chosen for my critical breed shawl, and that will be, I hope to record that and send her an MP3, and I will also share similar information next week on a Textiles in Time and etc. So hopefully there'll be a little bit more substance to the podcast as I claw my way out of the semester and look forward to immersing myself again in spinning, critical breed shawl, etc. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. As you know, there's no sassy tagline here, just a fond farewell. Bye.